Lions at Colts, the next game that I want to get to here. Matchup that matters. What do we got? This one's in Indianapolis, so I don't know. I
Yes.
mean, Colts, they've played some teams very tough throughout the course of this season. Obviously, they get Richardson back. They got a win last week, comeback win, comeback drive, comeback fourth quarter from Anthony Richardson. You feel like they got a shot here against Detroit, or what's your matchup that matters?
Yeah, I don't know that I can really give anybody a shot at Detroit. And that's not a
That's
knock
very
on
fair.
Indianapolis. That's just the tear that Detroit has been on. I mean, they are playing with their food at this point. They are not only just dominating, I haven't, I'm trying to think of like the last time that I trusted a team this much to like just absolutely go out there and have their way with other teams. Like Ben Johnson is coming up with something every game that he decides he wants to focus in on, and it has either something to do with the opposition's weakness, or maybe it's even something that they do well, and Ben wants to prove that they do it better. I don't even know. It's just he seemingly is having so much fun. This offense is having so much fun, and in the process, they're hanging 50 on people. So that the strength of that, like, I don't want to even want to go there when it comes to the matchup that matters, because we know that this offense is going to be hard to slow down. But I want to look at what the Colts do really well. And again, that's their offensive line. They have one of the best offensive lines in football, one of the only offensive lines that can rival the Lions' offensive line. And they're going against a Detroit defensive line that now has the Darius Smith fully entrenched in it. Watching that game, his debut with Detroit, obviously he was a factor, but it's still kind of like he's not quite getting the Aiden Hutchinson treatment, or at least it doesn't look like it quite yet. He's factoring into the Lions are still blitzing. They're still doing a lot with that front. And that's a testament to Aleem McNeil too and DJ Reader. I keep talking about them, and I will talk about them till the cows come home, because they are so good at getting that interior push that you need from this defensive line if you aren't going to blitz. But that's going to be going against the strength of this Colts offensive line, which is they have a 79.9 PFF grade. That's fifth overall. Their pass blocking grade ranks fourth overall. So that's something that you know that Anthony Richardson is going to have time. And what can Anthony Richardson do with time? He can get the ball down the field, or at least you hope. That's the hope. And that's what you're going to need to do if you do have any shot against the Lions. But I can't, in good faith, say anybody has a shot against the Lions right now. I mean, I think they're by far and away the best team in the league.
Yeah, you talked about Anthony Richardson being able to get the ball deep down the field. It presents a very interesting matchup this week in particular, because he is going up against the best safety room in the NFL in Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. And I think that when people would look at this game, they'd say, all right, well, what's an area where you think that the Colts could maybe surprise them, get a couple of plays here? It is Anthony Richardson and that freakish arm strength, being able to attack deep down the field, whether it's Alec Pierce, whether it's A.D. Mitchell, whether it's Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs. Yeah, he's more of a yards after catch guy, but still incredibly productive for them. The issue is that they're running up against a buzzsaw in the safety group that has been fantastic. It's been a no-fly zone for them. They've been able to come downhill and really affect a run, and also those crossers, erasing those yards after catch opportunities. So to me, the matchup that matters really is Anthony Richardson versus these safeties, because if Richardson can get a couple of big time throws like what we saw last week and not put the ball in harm's way, well, maybe you have a shot at this team, but it's going to take a couple of those. This is sort of a game where I don't think Richardson is quite ready yet. But this is the type of game of like why you would draft an Anthony Richardson, to say, okay, fire the ball 30 to 40 yards down the field on a frozen rope before the safeties can even get there, and you can get it in your guys' hands. Like, that's the type of arm talent and the reason why you draft a player like that. I don't know if he's quite seeing the field, or should I say anticipating the field the way that he needs to really complete those passes. But if we get a step in the right direction type of a game, a look into the future type of a game of what Richardson might be able to be consistently, especially coming off last week when he played well. I mean, he had an elite PFF passing grade in the fourth quarter last week, 8 for 10 passing, over 120 yards passing. He had that big time throw in the fourth quarter on that final drive alone to win the game. 3 for 3 passing, another elite passing grade, 60 yards passing on that one. So this dude was ready last week, and he had some really impressive throws. Can you do it against the Lions defense? I don't know about that, but it is at home. So hopefully you have a little bit of that home field advantage to you. And then when it comes to my plus factor in this one, I'm looking at the Colts cornerback room. Jaylen Jones, their outside corner, has played well at times this season, but he has just as many games where he is graded at an 80 or above in coverage as he has games where he is graded below 50. He's got 4 games above 80. He's got 4 games where he's graded below 50. So it has truly been a hot and cold, up and down season for Jaylen Jones. You've got to get one of those weeks where it's above 80, because you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams and all those tight ends and everybody, anything that Ben Johnson can think of to throw at you, he's going to throw at you. So if Jalen Johnson's not on his A game, I don't know if the Colts have a chance in this one. It would take a superhuman Josh Allen-esque type of a performance from Anthony Richardson if the Colts corners aren't playing well, because the Lions can really light up that scoreboard. So Jaylen Jones has to be my plus factor for that reason. Who is your plus factor in this game?
Yeah, it's Jonathan Taylor, because again, I'm going back towards what can the Colts potentially do and to have a shot in this, right? And if you look at the Colts offense this season, plays gaining 10 or more yards, they have 43 rushes that gain 10 or more yards, which is ranked 5th in the league. And that's something that you can do to kind of also give Anthony Richardson something to lean on, because he does have the 3rd highest turnover worthy play percentage of any quarterback. So if you can keep the ball on the ground a little bit more and really rely on Jonathan Taylor, I think that does give you at least the opportunity to sustain some drives and then pick your spots if you're Anthony Richardson to go down the field and try to stress this Detroit secondary, which I do think that there's a little bit of an opportunity to the outside. Maybe to just keep it away from Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, because we know how lethal that combination is. But I mean, the Lions defense this season, they are 5th in EPA per play against. They have allowed the 5th fewest rushing yards. So while it has to be Jonathan Taylor, it's going to be hard to be Jonathan Taylor to really get him going. They have 69 missed tackles, which is real nice because it's the 6th fewest in the league. And I can't resist anytime. I can't. Sorry, guys. I can't. It is. They don't miss tackles. They're tackling really, they're very fundamentally sound. Aaron Glenn has that unit ready to go, whether that's on the ground or through the air. But if you can stress them or try to stress them and stay as multiple as possible, if you're this Colts offense, I think that is your best bet.
So basically the Colts have to play a perfect football game. And even then, it's amazing. And even then, it's a maybe.
It's a maybe.
I think that
again, that's not a knock on the Colts. That's just
right. I was just about to say that is just to encapsulate what the Detroit Lions are at this point. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not like playing favorites here. I want to see this team in the Super Bowl. I would love to see it. I think it'd be so much fun. I think they have also built this team the right way, and they are certainly putting themselves in position to get to that point to play for a Lombardi trophy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below. So if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.